this is a well-deserved appointment, and we know that you are going to do very well, and Nigeria will benefit tremendously from the contributions that you are going to make, and how you will, within your tenure, represent our dear nation in UNESCO, which is a very, very important organ of the United Nations. On behalf of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, we also would like to commend you, Your Excellency, for your numerous contributions to the development of our country. At a very tender age, you were appointed as Honorable Minister for Women Affairs, and you discharged that responsibility in a manner that all of us have remained very proud of you. And just recently, you served our great nation as Senior Special Assistant on Administration to our President in the office of the First Lady. And everybody is aware that in that position, you try to make sure that the office of the First Lady played the important role that it should play in the development of our nation. And also, you have never failed to ensure that women are properly represented in all the things that we do in the country. So we are so happy to receive you today. When we got your letter initially, and then you had to travel to Europe, we said yes, we will always be very happy when you are back in June, to receive you here. So we wish you the very best as you travel back to Paris, and we know that you will always give the best representation to our nation. The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology is a very important ministry of the federal government, because we are a service ministry. We work with all the other ministries in various areas to promote national development, to ensure that we improve on productivity, that we are also leading the country now in making sure that we move our economy away from depending essentially on commodities. That is crude oil and natural gas, which have been the mainstay of our economy, to now move our economy to depend on knowledge that is innovation driven. This we've been doing in the past 5 years plus, because we found out that each time there is a sharp drop in the price of commodities in the international market, particularly the price for crude oil and natural gas, that this always had very adverse effect on our economy, resulting in driving our economy into recession. Is very interesting. If you do the study of all the recessions that Nigeria has had since independence, all of them have coincided with this sharp drop in the price of commodities in the international market. And this is a great nation. We have, God has blessed us with abundance of natural resources, and we have about the most intelligent people in the world. This is acknowledged all over the globe. So there is no reason why we cannot, use the human resource to now add value to these abundant natural resources. So that many of the products and services that we now import from outside can be produced here in the country. Because when you do that, in addition to creating wealth, you will create jobs, for the people. And Mr. President is so determined. He has already, it's a pledge to the nation that in 10 years, that as many as 100 million Nigerians will be moved out of poverty. So, and the only way you can do this is to make sure that you provide jobs, for the people, because anybody who is working is most likely going to earn something that will put the person, above the poverty level. So, this ministry is very interested in making sure that we deploy science, technology, and innovation in nation building, knowing that no nation in history, whether in ancient or modern times, has ever become truly great without deploying science, technology, and innovation. So we have been working very closely with UNESCO. Because you can see the UNESCO, the science component of it is where we fit in, and all the policy reviews that we have had in the ministry, we have always worked with UNESCO, and many of the projects we have in various departments, we have affiliation with UNESCO. So we are very happy, exceptionally happy to receive you, and we want to assure you that this relationship will even become stronger. We're also working very hard to popularize science, technology in our country, because we believe that when we get more Nigerians to be conscious of the importance of science, technology, and innovation to development, that it will help us in growing our economy. It will also help us in creating jobs. And we're also working on gender, balancing. We want to encourage, our girls to take to science, which is something that UNESCO is very interested in. We use so many methods to achieve this. We go to schools to talk to students, both at the primary and secondary level, to encourage them, to explain to them, because you may find a girl wanting to be a medical doctor or to be an engineer. What do you want to be? I want to be a medical doctor. I want to be an estate surveyor and so on. But they may not know that you need science, subjects in order to, achieve that goal in terms of career. But if you let them know early enough, then they will get themselves, prepared, for it. But one thing that is so important to us is that we know that Nigeria got the Nobel Prize in Literature. We got it first in Africa, but we have not gotten any Nobel Prize in the sciences, in physics, in chemistry, in medicine, we've not. And the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology would like to prepare our students, Nigerians, so that in the future, in the nearest future, we should be able to have people who can become Nobel laureates in these science, subjects, physics, chemistry, and medicine. And when this happens, it's going to put our nation in a very, very, give us a very important image. And it will also help us in so many ways. And one way that we're looking at this is we have looked at all the countries that are doing very well in the science subjects. And we find that they use their indigenous languages to teach these subjects. They use their indigenous languages to teach mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology at very early age. And you can see that it's very important because when a child first goes to look at the primary school, there is a challenge. The person you bring in something like mathematics, physics, some of these subjects will look a little bit strange to the child. And then the child will be struggling with catching up with that, and also catching up with the foreign language, different from what the mother uses at home, or the father, but the mother spends more time, with the children. So, but if you can teach these children in using their indigenous language, teach them some of these subjects, you will find that it will be easier for them to understand them. And we find in our schools that many of our students somehow don't feel very comfortable with some of these subjects. They tend to, run away from them. But we think and we believe that if we look at what others are doing and we can do it, that is going to help us. So that we are working with the Federal Ministry of Education. Actually, about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a joint committee, to see how this can be done. And the Federal Ministry of Education is already very, they have an advanced program with this. And we hope that when it's rolled out, it's going to be very helpful, to the nation, because we want to make sure that the best of our students, study these subjects, so that the creativity, the innovation that you have, amongst our people will be so high. It is this creativity that will help us as a nation, to now be in a position to become very productive. We can be very inventive, because you now see that the richest people in the world really are those who are using their brain, to create things, and then they make money out of it. And since our people are very intelligent, we believe very strongly that if we guide them, then we will get to that level and, help to create a lot of wealth, both for our citizens and then for our nation. So we really thank you so much for this visit, and we wish you a very successful tenure as ambassador and Nigeria's permanent delegate to UNESCO.